Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. Come on in, come on in. Let's get tonight's session started. Come on in, come on in. I'll give you guys just a moment to scroll in, and then I'm gonna dive right into this 7-day fruit and salad challenge. So come on in, come on in. Let's go ahead and start breaking things down, and let's get ready to kick this challenge off. Because as we know, the challenge begins tomorrow, and we got 7 days of implementing some of these tactics and strategies to our lifestyle to help us get better control of our blood pressure. So come on in, come on in. As we get started, the first thing I want to do is I just want to thank everybody for joining the challenge. This just shows that you guys are taking the initiative to actually understand more about your blood pressure and actively work to get to the root cause of the problem. So hats off to everyone for joining the challenge. And I'm gonna make sure that I show up and provide you all with the tools that you need to help you get to the root cause of this issue. So with that being said, we're gonna dive right into this 7-day fruit and salad challenge. And if you have the if you have your ebook available, go ahead and pull it up. That way you guys can actually be able to follow along, understand some of the things that we're going to break down. Because right now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back over the rules of the challenge. That way everybody that's here can understand more about, the do's and the don'ts, and understand what we're actually trying to accomplish. Because right now, it's not just about eating more fruits and vegetables. It's an actual tactic and strategy behind this, and I want to make sure that everyone understands how this works. That way, moving forward, we can continue to build on this habit, start to make some of these lifestyle changes, and start reaping the benefits of the things that we're doing. So if you have another device and you're able to pull up the 7-day fruit and salad challenge ebook, feel free to go ahead and pull it up, because I'm going to scroll through it and go through some critical points here, and we'll pretty much be able to stay on point from there. To begin with, so if you have any issues, if you signed up and you don't have your ebook, usually you probably have some issues locating it. The main thing that you want to do is you want to go to your email, the same email address that you use to sign up for the challenge. Go to your email. First thing you want to do, you want to check your spam folder as well. Sometimes things get rerouted. Go to your spam box. You want to check your spam folder to make sure that the email didn't get to your spam folder. And after that, you want to go to your main folder and you want to search. For me. You can put in Kellen Golden and it should pop up there. Or you can also just simply put in 7-day fruit and salad challenge, and all the information should pop up inside of your box. I looked at all the emails that went out. It was a 99% success rate for all of them that was transmitted. So everyone should have everything that they need inside of their box. But if you're having any issues, any difficulties, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll go ahead and help you locate your items. That way you can have all the tools that you need for the 7-day fruit and salad challenge. So with that being said, if you do have it readily available and you can pull it up on a second device, that's awesome. But now I'm going to go ahead and dive into how the challenge works. I went over this briefly last time, but it's kind of go into it right now. I'm going to go into it right now. That way we can understand the ins and outs and what we're actually trying to accomplish here. So the first thing, this is not just a raw challenge, meaning that it's not all about just eating fruits and salads only for 7 days. We're not going to go that deep into this process because that can be a challenge for many, many people. And you want to start off with doing something that's more manageable. So for the 7-day fruit and salad challenge, this is all about eating more whole foods to help you. This is about adding more whole foods to your diet to help you better understand your blood pressure issues by getting the vitamins, the minerals, and the nutrients that your body needs to correct these things at its root cause. So during this challenge, our focus is simply on adding more whole foods to the diet. It's not about necessarily taking anything away. It's all about adding more fresh fruits, more fresh vegetables to the diet in the form of salads. And that way we can get comfortable with eating more whole foods, because these fresh raw foods, this is going to be the primary place where you get those nutrients that's going to help you regulate that blood pressure. Because for most people, this is where it's rooted at. It's some type of nutritional deficiency that comes from a poor diet or, other areas. But and the one thing that you have to understand is only until you correct this deficiency, there's always going to be some type of blood pressure problem. And adding more whole foods to your diet is going to help you reach that goal of getting the nutrients that your body needs and correcting the internal issues. So how the challenge works is basically for the next 7 days, you're going to incorporate 3 to 5 servings of fresh fruit to your diet and 1 large salad each day. 3 to 5 servings of fresh fruits and 1 large salad each day. And inside of the guidelines for the fruit and salad challenge, I got it where it's broken down to where you can see the different vitamins and minerals and nutrients and the different nutrients that are inside of these foods. That way you can understand which group are going to be the best for that target area. So if you have a potassium issue, you'll see the Swiss chard and the kale and the spinach for your greens, and you'll see some other fresh fruits that all have these things. So understanding that eating these whole foods are going to provide you with an abundance of these nutrients. It's going to give you the potassium, the magnesium, the calcium, the zinc, all those things that are all directly related to your blood pressure. And your sole goal this week is to add more whole foods to your diet. Understand which ones you like better. Eat the ones that are fresh and seasoned. Try new things and add them to your diet. Just 3 to 5 servings. 3 to 5 servings. You have all day to get 3 to 5 servings of fresh fruits. You have all day to get 1 large salad inside of your system. And that's going to provide your body with the potassium, the magnesium, the potassium, the magnesium, the calcium, the zinc, the sodium, everything that it needs to function at an optimum level, including all those healing antioxidants that are very, very important for your blood pressure. So I hope you guys looked through the list when you guys signed up, got a variety of fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, particularly those that are listed inside of the groups. That way you have a nice assortment that's going to give you an abundance of nutrients. Because one thing about it is when you eat a variety of fresh fruits, you get a variety of nutrients from each and every one of them. And that's going to load your body up with the things that it needs. And your body is going to be able to do what it does naturally to digest, absorb it, assimilate it, and get it to where it needs, and eliminate whatever it doesn't need. And this is what's going to help you start to get back into alignment. So 3 to 5 servings of fresh fruits is our goal for the week, and 1 large salad. Now the rules are, when it comes down to fresh fruits, you want to eat it in its whole form. That means no smoothies and no other shortcuts when it comes down to getting those servings of fruits. Because when you consume a smoothie, it's a quick in and out. You're not actually breaking down and chewing the food and enjoying it and eating it and getting more comfortable with these types of foods. Because putting it in a blender, blending it all up, you're breaking it down, you're breaking down the fiber, you're mixing things together. It's just not consistent with what we're trying to go for, because we want to develop the habit of having fresh fruits when we wake up for breakfast in the morning, or having fresh fruits for our snacks throughout the day, things like that. Having a large salad before dinner, those are the type of habits that you want to build on and add to your lifestyle. Because again, with a lot of these blood pressure issues that are out there, it's directly related to a nutrient deficiency. And only until you start incorporating those health promoting foods to your diet will you be able to gain control of it and start moving forward and seeing progress with your blood pressure issues or your blood pressure challenges that you're having. So 3 to 5 servings of fresh fruits, 1 large salad. Now, so no smoothies for the fresh fruits. And for the salads, I want you guys to have this, I want you guys to build the salad with the greens that I listed inside of the ebook. Those greens are particularly spinach, kale, arugula, and Swiss chard. Those are the 4 greens that are there. You're not going to see romaine there. You're not going to see the spring mix there. You're not going to see, all those weaker versions of greens there. Reason being, because even though there's nothing necessarily wrong with those greens, they don't really pack the punch like the Swiss chard and the kale and the arugula and those things like that. So you want some greens that are going to be nutrient dense, that are going to actually give you a large amount of the nutrients that you're looking for each and every time that you consume them. For instance, like, the Swiss chard. You eat 2 cups of Swiss chard in a nice salad, it's going to give you almost 1,000 milligrams of potassium. And if you're dealing with a potassium issue, consistently just having that in your system, it's going to build up those storages. And one thing about potassium, when you're dealing with potassium deficiency, 9 times out of 10, your sodium levels tend to be a little bit elevated. And potassium and sodium, they work on the same scale. They work together to manage your blood pressure. So if the potassium's low, the sodium tends to be a little elevated and the blood pressure starts to go up. But once you bring them back together, increase your potassium levels, you level the playing field and you start to see your blood pressure come back down. So understanding that, these whole foods are going to be packed with these nutrients, but it's up to you to be consistent with this process. So when it comes down to your greens, try to move away from the romaine lettuce and the spring mix and those, because most of those are filled with a lot of water. They're not packed with all the nutrients that you really want. But that Swiss chard, the kale, the spring mix, and the spinach, those are all going to be powerful greens that are going to load you up. And one thing that I talk about is how to actually combine them, because when you do it, you want to get a mixture of all of them. So you want to take some kale, a little, like I say, a cup of kale, a cup of Swiss chard, a cup of spinach, and let's say a cup of arugula, and just put it all together. And you want to massage it gently with your hands. That way it's nice and tender when it's time to consume it, because we've all probably tried kale before, and if it wasn't massaged, it was tough to chew on and get stuck in your teeth. It could be uncomfortable, especially if you're not used to it. But one of the main strategies that you guys can take is just to gently massage it with your hands. That way it becomes nice and tender and more easier to digest, and it actually tastes better as you're consuming it. And one thing that we also need to be mindful of throughout this challenge is that we don't want to use store-bought salad dressings. We want to move completely away from store-bought salad dressings. Reason being, those store-bought salad dressings are high in the 3 main things that you need to remove from your diet when it comes down to better understanding blood pressure issues. That's going to be the excess amount of sodium, the excessive amount of salts, and the oils that are inside of those things. Those are 3 main triggers that we're going to talk about later on as we continue through these different challenges. Those are 3 triggers that you have to understand how they work, how they impact your blood pressure, and the damaging effects that they have. And with most people, they kind of escape their way through a salad by just lacing it with a whole bunch of salad dressing and throwing the different type of proteins and cheese and everything on top of it, to where you're dealing with something, it's not even necessarily a salad anymore, to be honest. So we want to get away from that. We don't want to load our salad up with anything outside of fresh vegetables or, the fresh toppings on top of it. So it's going to be no store-bought salad dressings on top of your salad, and no proteins whatsoever. You don't want to add any proteins on top of it. No fish, no shrimp, no chicken, no beef, no nothing but fresh raw ingredients on top of your salad. Preferred, like, some people ask me about putting quinoa on it and maybe some beans on it and things like that. I could give it a pass, mainly because they are loaded with a bunch of vitamins and minerals and things like that. But I want you to get in the habit of having the fresh greens and allowing your taste buds to adapt to having certain foods, because if you just load that salad up with whatever type of toppings and whatever proteins that you want, you're not going to enjoy it you're not going to adapt to it how you want to. So it's really about getting back to the base of the salad, learning to enjoy the natural flavors that are there, and getting the highest amount of nutrients possible from the fresh raw foods. So, making sure that salad blend is on point with a mixture of the greens. That way you're getting the potassium, you're getting the magnesium, you're getting everything there. And then when you top it off with the other fresh fruits, let's say you decide to put some bell peppers on top, maybe some cucumbers, a few tomatoes, maybe some hemp seeds on top, and even avocados or whatever you want to get funky with. It's your way to design a salad. But the main thing, that your salad should be filled with the power greens. It should be loaded with fresh produce, fresh fruits and vegetables, or fresh veggies on top, fruits and vegetables on top of it. And the dressing that you have should be one of the dressings that I listed inside of the ebook. I think I put like 4 dressings inside. They're all salt-free, oil-free, refined, sugar-free, and you can simply make it at home. Even if you have a blender, that's one way. If you don't have a blender, you can use a fork inside of a bowl and mix it up. You're just simply breaking it down, mixing it together, and that's going to allow you to use whole foods and natural ingredients to actually bring some more flavor and taste to your salad. Because one question I got a lot was like, wow, if I'm not using salad dressings, like what do I use? Use whole foods. If you like avocados, use avocados. If you got like raspberries, you can use raspberries as a dressing. You can make a raspberry vinaigrette. Like just simple, get some raspberries, mix it up in the blender, add some white wine vinegar or red wine vinegar inside of it. It'll give it a nice zesty flavor. If you want something more earthy, you know, add some an oregano vinaigrette, maybe some parsley and some vinaigrette, things like that. It's gonna make your salad stand out and be a lot more bolder, a lot more flavorful, and you don't have to worry about the salt, oils, and sugars that are inside of the packaged dressings, because those packaged foods are really, really a big problem. And that leads us to the third part of the challenge, is that if you want to get the best results from doing this, you want to start to eliminate or reduce your consumption of any processed foods throughout this week. So anything that's packaged up or anything that's pre-made or frozen or what have you, reduce your consumption. Start there. I'm not going to say completely eliminate it first, because some of us might have a bigger struggle trying to do that. Reduce your consumption of processed foods, or even if you can, eliminate your consumption of processed foods and excessive amounts of sodium that you may be consuming throughout this week. And that's going to give you an advantage, because when you reduce the sodium levels and you add more potassium rich foods and other foods that are high in magnesium, this is going to bring your blood pressure down. That's the way it goes, because of the relationship that sodium and potassium have. It's automatically going to come down. Even if you don't necessarily have a potassium deficiency, you're going to start to see the benefits from this process, because not only is it the potassium that's going to work by softening up the blood vessels and increasing the dilation and the blood flow, but the magnesium is having an effect as well. The zinc and everything else, they all have a relationship together. So when you bring balance back into the body, that relationship and that harmony, when it comes down to managing the blood pressure, you get right back into flow. So for most people, we're just out of sync. We're out of balance, largely due to our dietary choices and our lifestyle choices. And this 7-day fruit and salad challenge is going to allow us to understand how to bring some more balance back to our dietary habits by eating more fresh fruits and more fresh vegetables to compensate for the deficiency that we're experiencing. So again, I'm going over the ebook that's here. For those of us that's just joining and just tuning in, if you purchased the ebook already, be sure to look inside your email, check your spam mail, and get the, I don't know why I closed the thing, and get the ebook. That way you can continue to look over some of the materials and the tools that's there, because inside of the ebook, it breaks down each and every nutrient that's directly related to your blood pressure. And this is for you to understand that how these things work, be able to connect the dots between how you're feeling or any deficiency that you may be aware of. Because some of us know we have a magnesium deficiency. Some of us know we're low on potassium, or our calcium low, or our vitamin D is low, and things like that. So if you know that you're low in these areas, it's time to do something about it. Because a lot of times we just sit back and try to just take the supplement pill that our doctor prescribed us. But taking a potassium supplement doesn't do the same thing as eating foods that are rich in potassium. Taking a magnesium supplement doesn't do the same thing. So we have to find the best routes to actually take to correct the issues that we're dealing with. And eating more whole foods is the universal answer when it comes down to correcting these type of deficiencies. Now, with albeit there are other things that can contribute to the deficiency, but in this challenge, we're not necessarily focused on the lifestyle factors. We're more so focusing on the dietary habits. And that way you can start taking the incremental steps to get better. Because one thing about blood pressure issues, for some of us, it can be multiple triggers that's causing this problem. And it really takes us to go into our lifestyle and understanding all these different things that could be triggering us. And this 7-day fruit and salad challenge, it's the first of many challenges that I'm going to have to come, mainly because I understand the extent of blood pressure issues. It's not just one thing for one person. It's not just this. It's not just that. Some of us may need a little bit more coaching and a little bit more structure to help us get through these things. And that's what these challenges are laid out for, to help you just challenge yourself to get better, because you have to find the motivation to actually create these changes within yourself. Because again, it's not going to fix itself. You have to be willing to do so. There's no magic pill or supplement that you can take and boom, your blood pressure just gets all better. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. So we have to be willing to do the work and just understand how this process works. Because one thing about lifestyle changes is that these are behavioral changes that, for some people, it can be really, really hard. And we have to know how to order our steps and do the little things first. Get real good at the little things. This 7-day fruit and salad challenge, it's not just 7 days. This should be a part of your lifestyle moving forward. These 7 days is just going to help you figure out how you're going to do it. And after the 7 days in, you're going to keep up with the same process, because eating whole foods is going to be the key to helping you regain control of it. It's just the first step up, and then you keep leveling up and getting better and better and better. And you're going to see your body respond in many, many different ways. The main thing is to understand that response and be able to continue to move through this process and be efficient, because some of us may forget that we're on a challenge, and we might forget one day to eat all our fruits, or we might forget to have our salad, things like that. But it's all about just continuing to challenge yourself and working to do better. So if you miss a day, or you fail to get 3 to 5 servings of fresh fruit into your system, don't beat yourself up about it. Just get back to it. Make the next day better, and just try to continue to stick with the goal of correcting stick with the goal of improving your nutrition by eating more whole foods. Because again, that's at the base level. Once you start doing this and then start implementing some of these other changes that we're going to work on, you're going to start creating this full circle and this spectrum that's going to allow you to understand your dietary and your lifestyle habits, understand what your particular triggers are, because for each and every one of us, we all have different triggers. But when you understand what these triggers are, you're better able to control them and be able to avoid the pitfalls that are contributing to your blood pressure problems. So definitely these next 7 days are going to be interesting. Now, the next set of rules for this challenge are probably the most important one. And most people kind of skip over this part because they don't really understand how important it is. They think it's just a lot of fluff, and it's just like, well, I ain't gonna do that, But the most important rule that I feel is actively participating in the challenge. And what I mean by this is that part of the challenge is that you take a picture of the foods that you're consuming and upload them into the group. And that's part of your accountability. Take a picture of the food that you have. If you decide to have an apple, an orange, and a banana, take a picture of it, post it in the group. It doesn't have to be a pretty picture. You could be in the car eating on the apple. Take a picture, put it in the group, because that's going to hold you accountable for what you're doing. And it sets the tone for you to be actively involved in the healing process that you're going through. Now, you might think that, man, I ain't uploading no picture. I'm going to just eat the salad, eat the fruit, and go on about my business. That's cool. You might get away with it for this challenge, and it might be okay, but I can guarantee you when we move forward to those bigger challenges that's going to actually, challenge you to do something, you ain't going to have the willpower, you're not going to have the strength or even the mental capacity to participate fully, because you didn't go through the ground level steps to get to the level that ultimately that you want to be at. So I'm telling you, the active participation in the challenge is going to be very, very important. Building that habit of following the rules, following the instructions, and actually doing it is going to put you in the field. It's going to put you in the arena amongst everybody else. And then you're going to see the motivation. You're going to see people cheering you on. You're going to see people commenting on your picture and liking the different things, and that's going to help you feel like part of the community with the things that you're doing. And ultimately, as we continue to grow this community and continue to partake in different type of challenges, you're going to build up the confidence and the energy and the motivation behind your goals. And before you know it, 3 months, 6 months down the line, you're tapped into every tactic and every strategy that we're putting forth. You got your journal together, you're documenting everything, and your blood pressure is getting better. You're understanding how to improve your lifestyle because you've been actively participating in the process. So understand that participation is very, very important. It's part of the whole mindset shift, because a lot of us jumped in and joined the challenge and we felt like we want to do it, but a lot of people not going to participate. It's as simple as that. It always happens. Now, I can't beg you to participate, but I'm telling you, this is by far one of the most important parts. So participation should be high on your list. Follow the rules and the guidelines. The participation guidelines is just simply taking a picture of the fruits and the salads that you're consuming and post it in the group for your own benefits, because that holds you accountable of just showing up each and every day. Like, oh man, let me take this picture of these fruits before I consume them. That way, I can say that I did it and I participated and I got things done. That's a big part of it. Mindset is the biggest thing that people can't get over. They can't get over this mindset because they don't get out of their own way. Becoming an active participant in your own health journey is by far the biggest key, man. Like, a lot of people miss that aspect of it. So I'm telling you now, become a participant, follow the rules, take a picture, do everything that you need to do possibly on your side, and watch where it takes you in the next 3 to 4 months as we continue to add and build on these type of things. You know what I'm saying? Because lifestyle changes, for some of us, it's going to take some time to continue to hit the nail and get there. And by participating, it just allows you to stay in alignment and gain better understanding. Because I even could say, for me as a teacher, I learn things, and as I teach them and talk to people more about them, it gets better in my brain. It gets packed in there and it comes out effortlessly. And the same thing about these type of challenges. When you start getting yourself involved in them and participating in them, your automatic thought is gonna be, let me grab some fresh fruit for the house, or when I'm grocery shopping, let me grab something on the go. I'm gonna grab some fruits and some nuts, or let me make a salad today while I'm for work and things like that. It starts to come second nature, and that's how you want lifestyle changes to flow. You want it to be second nature. You don't want it to be a hassle. You don't want to wake up and be like, man, I don't feel like making this salad. That becomes a hassle, and then when things start to hassle you, you don't really want nothing to deal with it. You're like, man, I ain't got time for that today. I'm busy. You don't want to get into that mode, because once you get into the mode of something troubling you, you tend to not even get involved or deal with it. And that's where, you want to build up the energy and the mindset and shift your focus and make sure that this is a big priority for you. That way you can actually accomplish the goals that we set out for ourselves. Now, again, one thing that I definitely want us to also do, I don't know what I'm looking at. One thing I want us to also do is, if you have your blood pressure monitors, or if you have your blood pressure monitor, before you start your journey, you should take your blood pressure and document it. That's what our journals are for. Unfortunately, my journal is it's probably on my table in there. But you should, if you have your monitors, take your blood pressure tomorrow before you get started. And what happens is, this gives you like an idea or a starting point from when you started implementing these changes in your lifestyle. And what's going to happen is, when you take your blood pressure, at least you have a ground zero of where you're starting from. And then when you start implementing these tactics of eating more fresh fruits and your salads and things like that, you're going to have a scale to kind of register what's going on. And again, for the best results throughout this process, you want to try to eliminate the processed foods as much as possible. If you could get rid of all of them, that's going to be very beneficial. And you want to reduce the excessive amount of sodium and things like that as well. That way you can start, you can start seeing those good strides moving forward. And that's just going to help you get into more alignment. And one thing about it is, when you write it down and put it on paper, and then you start to see the trend and your blood pressure numbers coming down, that becomes more and more motivation. I remember when I first started my process, I remember seeing my blood pressure, the highest it was 163 over 95 or something. No, 163 over 109 actually. That was the highest I ever seen my blood pressure. But then when I started started documenting everything, it started coming down to 145 over 93, 135 over 90, and it just started slowly getting better. And I was able to connect the dots between the things that I was doing, the foods that I was eating, the stretches and the movement I was creating for myself, and the trend that was happening in my blood pressure. And as I started seeing the points start to come down by the activities and the dietary habits I was changing, it continued to motivate me like, oh, wow, I'm at 130 over whatever. If I keep doing this, I can be into the 120s soon. And that's just a burst of confidence that you gain based off knowing that you're doing something physically that's changing, the trajectory of your health. And when you start seeing that, now okay, I'm building something here and I'm getting myself together. And this is ultimately the pathway that you have to go down to get off of the pharmaceutical medications. But one thing about it is that you have to allow your body to build itself back up and build the necessary habits as well, so that it can manually control your blood pressure without the medication. Because you don't just come off of medication because you ate fruits and salads for a week. It don't necessarily happen that way, unfortunately. Sorry about that. If any of y'all thought you were just gonna come in here, eat a salad, and get off the medication, it doesn't work that way. You have to build your body back up through these habits, and now allow for it to be strengthened and correct the imbalances, and allow for it to continue to do the things that it needs to do. But these habits are necessary for you these health promoting habits are necessary for you to create in order to sustain these type of results. So it's very, very important. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop it inside of the chat as well. I prefer that they're challenge related questions. We'll get into any blood pressure questions as we get deeper into the challenge and things like that. So I prefer that if you have any questions specifically related to the challenge, that way I can make sure that everybody understands the ins and outs of it and the rules and things like that. I'm gonna repeat this again for those of us that signed up for the challenge and we can't locate our ebook. You want to simply go to your email address, and you want to check your spam folder first to make sure it didn't get sent to the spam mail. Then you also want to go to your search bar and search for 7-Day Fruit and Salad Challenge, or search for Kellen Golden, and it'll pop up in one of those areas. So 99% of all the emails went out, so it's out there. But if you're still having trouble locating it, feel free to send me a message and I'll help get to you. That way you can get the 7-Day Fruit and Salad ebook and have the other tools that are there. Now, homework that you guys are going to have, homework is always a part of things. I want you to, throughout this week, work through the Fruit and Salad Challenge ebook. We're going to go through it together as well, but take the time, maybe 10, 15 minutes per day, and go through different sections. Say you start off tomorrow, go through the first nutrient. I believe it's potassium. Read and understand how potassium works inside of your body. That way you can connect those dots and just have a better understanding. Because if you want to overcome something or you want to beat something, you got to understand it. Like, it's as simple as that. If you don't understand what's kicking your behind, how you going to kick its behind? You know what I'm saying? It's as simple as that. Take the time and get some understanding. 10 to 15 minutes per day. Not going to take you long. We spend 10 to 15 minutes scrolling on our phone throughout the day. Set a time. Say, okay, for 10, 15 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this particular nutrient, and I'm going to read about potassium that's there. One thing about the ebook is, I believe you can, if you have the right device, you could click play, and it'll play it and read it to you if you don't feel like reading those things. And it'll go over the potassium and everything else that's there. But sitting there, taking your time, go through each particular mineral, and that way you can understand the relationship that it has with all the other minerals and the role that it plays in your overall health and your blood pressure. And this will give you a better understanding. It'll help you connect the dots between how you're possibly feeling or some other stuff that you're already aware of. And now this just puts you in a better arena to do better, because now you understand that potassium and sodium works together, and you eat a lot of processed foods, and if you bring down the consumption of processed foods and eat more potassium, it just starts to level the playing field for you to get control of it. But if you don't know, you just kind of leave yourself at the mercy of whatever happens. And one thing about being at the mercy of however the wind blows, you still got to be accountable for whatever results that you get. So it's best that you understand these different nutrients and the role that they play, and just build on it and focus on incorporating more of them into your lifestyle. Right now, this challenge is focused around potassium, magnesium, calcium, zinc, and it talks more about sodium as well. And those are the fundamental 5 that are there. Now, there's a few more that plays a role, like the vitamin D, vitamin C, and the other antioxidants and things like that. But the primary focuses are on there because most people deal with those type of deficiencies. And the better you're able to eat more whole foods, the better you're going to be able to get a grasp of these things. And this is going to help you just continue to get better control of your blood pressure. So, the ebook, I want to say it's about 44 pages long or something in that nature. The first 7 pages or so, just an introduction talking about the challenge. But each and every nutrient is about 3 to 4 pages, along with the foods that are high in those nutrients, and to give you a better understanding, kind of like a grocery list rather, of what foods are there. And one thing that you can definitely do is just understand. Let's say you print out this page there, and now start to build your pantry or your kitchen around these nutrients to make sure that you have these foods inside of your refrigerator. So making sure that, okay, every time I go to the store, maybe I pick up some Swiss chard. It's like $2.49 in most places, organic. Like, you could pick up some Swiss chard. Make sure I'm always getting some kale, or making sure I'm having fresh oranges or fresh watermelon and things like that. That way it becomes a staple in your kitchen, and you have it, and now it's a part of your life and a part of your flow. Because what's going to be very, very important is that you're not just doing it for 7 days, but you start building a routine and you start building a habit, because this habit is what's going to pull you out of these blood pressure issues. So understanding that, you want to build something around this for the next 7 days. That way, you start to build out the structure to help you with those problems. And taking the time to read through these these specific nutrients, it's going to just bring that understanding to you as a whole. And as we continue to move through this process for the next 7 days, you're really going to come away with that complete understanding of these nutrients and how they work. And now it's just really about just holding yourself accountable and moving forward from there. Now, what I didn't see any questions come in. And I think last time this happened, people were asking questions, but I just couldn't see them in my particular chat. So unfortunately, I see one just came in, coconut water. Oh yeah, I can see a few of them. Okay, yeah, so they're finally coming in. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and answer these questions that are there. That way, I can start just filling the gaps in for you guys. So when it comes down to coconut water is probably the best water that you can have on the planet of the earth. Like, as simple as that. Very hydrating, full of potassium, different vitamins and minerals and nutrients and things like that. The biggest thing is you want to have fresh coconut water. The coconut water that's in those little Vitalife containers, I think, the little styrofoam containers that are there, those are probably some of the worst versions of, I would say the worst versions of coconut water that you could possibly have. Mainly because they are processed, they are packaged. Some of them have different type of chemical compounds in them just to stabilize them inside of that package. Because we have to remember, coconut water is living water inside of that fresh coconut. Once you crack it and take it out of its environment, the whole structure changes. So they have to put different type of things in there to bind it and keep it together, keep it fresh. And it's not the same. It's totally different. So understanding that if you're in a particular location and you have fresh coconuts, that's going to be the best option. I always tell people, if it's in a carton, read the back of it, see what that added ingredient is inside there. Sometimes it's a variation. They use a lot of different things. But if you can get the fresh, get the fresh. If they don't have the fresh, me personally, I will avoid it completely. I just don't like the carton stuff, because all those additives, they do have an effect on the body as a whole. And if you're trying to correct issues, you don't really want to dance around with that one. How do I purchase the Facebook stars? Good question. From this side, I really don't know if I can see it, but it should be something in your book on your screen down low that says something about stars. And what the stars are, basically, it kind of just helps me create better content and basically just provide me with a resource to just be able to make more short form content, be able to just show up consistently and provide more value to you guys in different areas, and even like run these different type of challenges and things like that. So that's what the Facebook stars are all about, because that's like my motivational tool, because when I see stars come in, I know that people are getting value from what I'm talking about, what I'm doing, and it's very motivational when they come in, and just keeps me pushing forward when it comes down to it. Next one, should we take it before taking the blood pressure medication? Yeah, preferably you want to take it before the medication. Mainly because, you know, once blood pressure medication gets to work, it automatically does its job of controlling the number. If you take it before that, it'll give you better indicator of where you're at, but it's not going to necessarily be a perfect one, but it'll give you a better indicator where you're at. So taking the blood pressure before you take the medication, it's gonna help round you off. And then as you do it consistently, you'll start to see where you kind of level off at. Kellen, what are some items you consume for breakfast? To be honest, most days I might skip breakfast. Because first thing I do, I get up and I go for a run first thing in the morning. That time frame could be anywhere between 7 and 10 o'clock. I typically don't eat anything when I'm running. When I get back, a lot of times I don't settle for breakfast. I don't have any breakfast. But if I do, I usually have fresh fruits, or I may have some juice or something like that. I have some fresh juice in the morning. And the reason being is your body works a whole lot better when your digestive system is empty. When your body doesn't have to use energy for digestion, your body just function at a lot higher rate. Your brain is at its optimal level. You're physically, your energy levels are a lot higher, because there's all that energy that usually goes in digestion is used in other places. And me being active and doing a lot of things, you know, I usually forego breakfast and just get active in the other areas of my life. But fresh fruit is always going to be the best option. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, melons, and things like that. Those are always going to be best, because it's going to give you the highest amount of nutrients, and it's in and out of your system in 20, 30 minutes. And it allows your body to function at a higher level without being weighed down. So that's always a good option. For my children, they usually have fresh fruits all the time as well. Sometimes they have fresh oats and things like that. But typically, either I'm skipping breakfast or I'm having fresh fruits. And those are the two things I've been doing probably the most consistently over the last 6 or 7 years, just skipping out on breakfast and going at it that way. Allergic to coconut, any other ideas? Nah, coconut water is the best water that's there. If you're allergic to it, you know, it's not really too much outside of fresh juice that you can do. But coconut water is probably it's a level of its own. So if you're allergic, fresh juice, fresh watermelon juice is probably going to be one of the next best ones. And having other fresh juice, that's going to all be good as well. Do parasites eat the nutrients up in the body? Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you actually mentioned that, Heart Soul Garden Chef, because I wanted to bring up this topic later on, but I bring it up now since that question is there. But yeah, parasites definitely do eat up the nutrients that are there. And yeah, that's part of the reason deficiencies occur as well. It's another lifestyle issue that has an impact on your overall health, because they're there inside of your gut, inside of different areas, and they need to feed as well. And just like the other bacteria and all those other things that are inside need nourishment, when the foods and things come in, those parasites gobble up what they can have, and your body's using what it can, and then now you're getting shortchanged on the back end because of these the parasites and these parasitic issues. So if you there's different signs of that you can see if you're dealing with a parasite. And I think last week this topic came up because on my page I have a colon and parasite cleanse video, and the video is kind of graphic. Some people may have seen it, but in this graphic video, I did the colon and parasite cleanse, and I was kind of talking about the different parasites, and I was kind of breaking it down so people can see the stool and things like that. Sorry for all you guys that I might be grossing out, but I kind of broke it down, and then I also went over the process of how you can remove them. So for some reason, quite a few people kept asking me about that, and I think that it's important that I also go over that process with you guys, because dealing with parasite issue, you have to get those out of your system, especially when you're trying to make certain changes. Now, you can fast and starve them out, but that's a longer process. So having taking type of herbal supplements to help with this can definitely catapult you to another level to remove them out of your body and allow for some faster change to occur. So I definitely appreciate you for bringing that topic up. And I want to say this: at the end of this challenge, I will introduce you guys to the parasite and colon cleanse. And I'm going to break it down for you clearly. That way I can give you an understanding of it. So it's called the cleansing process. It's a cleansing process. Reason being because there's a cycle that you have to go through to properly execute it. You want to start with cleansing the colon first, because once you cleanse the colon, you make way for everything else to come out. Because imagine if you decide to do any other type of cleanse, a blood cleanse or a liver cleanse, but the colon is all jammed up with all kind of stuff and parasites and dehydrated fecal matter, and everything is all in there blocking. When you do any other type of cleanse, it'll all get lodged inside of the colon, and now you just got a whole influx of toxins in one area. So you always want to start with cleansing the colon first. That way, basically, the plumbing is cleared out for everything to just smoothly exit the body. So you start with the colon cleanse first, and as you move from the colon cleanse, then the liver and the gallbladder cleanse will be next. That way you can cleanse the liver, help rejuvenate it, cleanse the gallbladder, any gallstones that are there, all of them are able to get pulled out and flushed through out of the system and things like that. And the colon's cleansed, so none of those are getting lodged inside of the colon and just being trapped there. And now it moves you to the third level of the cycle, is allowing for you to cleanse the blood as well. Now, once you cleanse the blood, now everything is just flowing, and all the organs of elimination, they're in a cycle of actually being able to increase their levels of elimination and help cleanse the body on a higher level. So this cleansing cycle starts with the colon, moves to the kidney, it moves to the liver and the gallbladder, and then it goes through the blood, and the blood cleanse helps with the kidneys and things like that. And it allows for you to be in alignment with the natural cleansing cycle. That way you can get the most benefits from it. So I don't want to drag this cleanse into the 7-day fruit and salad challenge. So at the end of the 7-day fruit and salad challenge, I'll talk more about it. I'll introduce you guys to it. And what you can do, this video is like deep in my page, but I would say look at it on my page, but it's so far down there. But if you just have some patience with me through this week, I'll make sure I put together a nice package for you guys to better understand it, have more visuals, and, be able to see how this possibly fits in what you're trying to do. And then decide if it's something that you want to partake in, because like not everyone needs this type of cleanse. But if you're someone that's a heavy animal-based product consumer, you have a diet that's high in processed foods, you're dealing with weight issues and belly fat and congestion and constipation and things like that, this type of cleanse is definitely going to be something that helps you greatly. I did this cleanse. I think I lost 6 pounds in the first 2 days. And then I also, I think I paired it with, I did a water fast and things like that. And that really catapulted me like to a whole nother level. And I felt so much better. And just to see those things come out of me really just changed my whole mindset of how I approach my overall health. So I'll make sure I bring that to you guys. I will not forget. I'll make sure I put it together so you guys can see and understand that at the end of this challenge. And if anyone's interested in actually learning more about that, I'll make sure that you guys have the opportunity to do so. So I'm going to keep answering these questions that are here. Were you able to check the site? I wasn't able to pay. I stepped away for a minute. Miss Angela, feel free to DM me, and I'll make sure I can see. I can make sure that you get set up. What else we have? Man, you're a blessing to many. Man, I appreciate that. I just want to show up and help people as best as I can and provide them with the resources, because I know when I was dealing with these chronic issues, I couldn't get no answers. Like, it was as simple as that. My doctor couldn't tell me nothing but get some exercise, eat better, and take my pills. I wasn't trying to hear that. It's as simple as that. I needed more clarity, because I didn't want to take pills. Just like many of us here, we don't want to take pills. We don't want to be on the medication. So we're trying to figure out what we can do to correct this problem. And like, I've been through every route trying to take herbs and drinking beet juice and taking all the garlic and stuff like that. I went down all those pathways, but they all lead you back to the same spot of not having control. And when you understand it's all about what you can do and not what you can take, that changes the game. You got to actually be involved. You can't just take something. You got to be willing to do and make the changes. And for many people, it's really just simple stuff to get in line with. And man, for others, it can get more challenging though. Is tamarind good for flushing the liver? Yeah, that's definitely one of those things that definitely helps with that process. It's many different ways that you can consume it, but it's definitely something that helps with that cleansing aspect. I see there's a lot of cleansing questions that are popping up. I don't want to get away from the fruit and salad, because again, the cleansing aspect, it gets real broad. I'm gonna give y'all a whole session on that. So, bear with me. Let's get through this week first and we'll get right into that, cleanse. For clarity, none of the vegetables should be cooked on the salad. Preferably, it should all be raw vegetables on all your salads. Reason being, again, when you consume them raw, you have the highest levels or the highest version of nutrients. Anything that's cooked starts to become denatured and broken down. The vitamins, the minerals, all of them start to get broken down and damaged, and they don't hold the same value as they would in this raw state. So when you eat them in their raw state, the nutrient value is going to be a lot higher. You basically get more bang for your buck, and that's going to just be that's going to just help your body in so many, many ways. And you don't have to worry about your body worrying about the excess toxins coming from the cooked food that needs to be eliminated. Because once you start cooking food, it technically becomes carcinogenic. It becomes a carcin. I can't even get it out. It starts to get toxic, and it just creates a whole nother part of elimination that needs to occur. So yeah, raw foods is going to always be the best option. I ate a raw okra today for the first time. I loved it. Oh, that's awesome. I don't think I've ever had raw okras before. I'm not afraid of it or nothing wrong with it. I just never even thought about it. One of my buddies he eats his okras raw. I never even questioned it, because he's always doing stuff like that. So that's up. And that shows you that once you start trying things in its natural version, in its natural form, you never know what you really like. And start trying things, it opens you up to a whole new world of things like that. Do you have any salad recipes anywhere, or did I miss them? I have the salad dressing recipes inside of the Fruit and Salad ebook. But when it comes down for the salads, particularly for this challenge, I want you to just be creative with the things that you like. If you like bell peppers, go green, go red, go orange, mix them all in there. If you like cucumbers, just mix it up with the fresh stuff. Try to get a beautiful rainbow assortment of colors inside of there. And that's going to stimulate you in the right way and give you an abundance. Like when you go for recipes, it makes it more challenging. Just go for what you love, because salad recipes are cool, don't get me wrong, but go for what you love and add an abundance of it. Because one thing about it, I eat the same salad every day. My daughter eats the same salad I eat every day. She won't let me have a salad unless I make some for her. And we eat the same thing every day because we like it, we love it, and it's easy to make. When I make a different salad, she looks at me like, oh, okay, why do you make the same one? But find something that you really, really like and just stick with it. It makes the process so much better. And I get some people like the variety and things like that. But unfortunately, I didn't put any salad recipes in there, and only have salad dressing recipes. Can I eat fish with my salad? Unfortunately, Miss Yolanda, you can't, because the main goal of this challenge is to embrace the raw foods and the raw salads that we're having. So adding any protein on this salad is it's gonna go against what our ultimate goal is, because you want to have fresh raw foods and you want to enjoy those greens and those vegetables and the produce as they are, without the fish and the grease and the protein and the all the other additives, the salad dressing and things like that. You want to try to go as close to natural as you can without those added preservatives or added proteins and things like that. What else we got? It looks like all the questions that are there. I'm gonna see if I might have missed anything. I don't see any of them there. But back to the ebook. If you guys log in, if you don't have your ebook, feel free to log into your email and search for the 7-day fruit and salad challenge. That way you can get your ebook and be, why do I keep closing this? And be able to get the tools that you need. If you haven't signed up for the challenge, the window is actually still open. I was supposed to close it when we started this live video, but the window's still open temporarily for the people that are still inside of the group. Sign up for the challenge, get your ebook, because this is going to be a tool for you to continue to use pretty much until you got it down packed. It's not just about what we're talking about and, you know, eating fresh fruits. It's about gaining the knowledge behind what you're doing. Because I could tell anybody, eat a salad and eat some fresh fruits 3 to 5 times per day, but they're not coming away with the fundamentals behind it and the understanding of how this process works. And one thing about creating change, the more you know about the problem you're dealing with, the easier it will become to get over it. That's with any problem in the world. Your car breaks down and you know nothing about it. Now you got to go find a mechanic to deal with it, and you got to pay him for it. Now, if you start learning about your blood pressure and the problem that you're having, and you're learning and you're understanding and you're absorbing the information, now you can be actively involved in your own healing process. And this is going to help you through this. And you're just going to build the confidence, have the motivation, and get through it. And that's why this ebook and this challenge exists. It's not for me to make a quick $10 for that. No, it's for you to actually be involved in your process and have the fundamentals and the tools to get to the root cause of the problem. And the more you actively engage in things and these challenges like this, the better you're gonna get when it comes, the better your overall health is gonna get, along with your blood pressure. Because one thing about it, your overall health is going to improve. Your blood pressure is going to get better as a side effect. The high blood pressure is a side effect of a poor lifestyle. As simple as that. You improve your lifestyle, the blood pressure just comes down naturally. It's as simple as that. It's the science behind it. You just have to get yourself back into alignment. And those are just some basic things that we have to understand. But once you understand the procedures and the process, it really just makes it pretty good. Is moringa powder good to use? So now the thing is, when you get into moringa powder, a lot of people use it for a lot of different reasons. I'm not a supplement person. I don't recommend supplements. I don't encourage supplements, whether they're herbal or whether they're pharmaceutical. I'm not a supplement guy, because a lot of people use supplements for Band-Aids. Because if you have to take moringa powder, like, you have to think, like, what do you want to take moringa powder for? Or I want to help it for my digestion, or I want to help it for X, Y, and Z, or what have you. You have to understand that taking this supplement it's a shortcut. It's not fixing your problem. It's not teaching you how to fix your problem. You're not gaining control of it. You're Band-Aiding it until another time, because it's simply gonna, whatever the issue that you're trying to mask, is simply gonna come back once this solution is out of your problem. It goes for moringa powder, any other supplement or herbal stimulant that's out there. It's only a temporary solution, but the better you're able to get to the root cause of the problem by connecting the dots between what you're doing and how it's making you feel, this is gonna put you in better alignment to not have the problem at all and not rely on any supplements. I don't take any supplements at all whatsoever. Not a vitamin, not a mineral, not anything. I consume supplements naturally as they come, in the form of fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, nuts and seeds and grains, and all those basic things like that. I don't do any of those supplements, because I understand that the supplements are designed based off of how the foods are. They take the foods and they break it down and they shove it, and they create chemical compounds and they shove it all in a pill format to do the same thing. Why not just save myself the time and eat the whole foods? That way I could get the vitamins, the minerals, the enzymes, the fiber, all that stuff in one big bang, and the problem be done with. The main thing is, taking supplements is so appealing because it seems like a quick fix. And we have to understand that when you get away from having to take something for a problem, you start to feel better, and it helps you gain more control to eliminate the solution. Because if you're relying on taking a supplement or a pill or what have you, eventually your body's going to get used to it and it's not going to work the same. So if it comes down to taking moringa powder, it has benefits. But at the end of the day, it's a stimulant, and it stimulates your body and masks the issue that you may be trying to deal with. Ultimately, the goal is to not need to take anything. That's my philosophy, and that's what I live by, and that's what I coach and I teach. You don't want to take anything. I want to wake up in the morning and go. I don't want to take a pill. I don't want to take a supplement. I don't want to go give nobody for nothing that I don't want to go give nobody no dollar to help me with anything. I want to be able to go naturally and allow my body to click. And that just takes you just getting in alignment with your lifestyle. And that's what this group is all about, because this is way bigger than just a high blood pressure group. This is a lifestyle group. When you follow these same tactics and strategies, your overall health is going to improve. Your lifestyle is going to improve, and your blood pressure is just going to be a side effect. That improvement in your blood pressure is just going to be a side effect of all the other great changes that you implemented throughout your lifestyle. And I don't see any other questions there, so I don't want to drag out this live video. So if you guys have any issues getting to the your information, feel free to DM me. But tomorrow is the kickoff for the 7-day challenge. 3 to 5 servings of fresh fruits, a nice large salad, no proteins, a base salad dressing, not any store-bought processed salad dressing, and make sure you participate. Make sure you upload your pictures. I'm going to lead the way. I'm posting my pictures each and every day of what I'm having. That way you guys can see and become actively involved in this healing process. Participation is key. You got to be willing to participate, because if you don't participate, I guarantee you, when we level up and start getting to these other challenges that are going to actually challenge you to do something, you're not going to have it in you. You're not going to build up that confidence. You're not going to be able to be there for yourself. Your participation in your own healing is you being there for yourself and doing what you know is best for you. You signed up for the challenge. Clearly, you're motivated to get something done. Participate. It's all. Participate each and every time. Just participate. It's 7 days. After those 7 days, just keep up with the same cycle and start building. And I'm going to be here every step of the way to allow for us to build and keep going and motivate each other to be there, because you need to have that motivation, man. And that's why I'm here as a coach, to help you guys come up with these strategies and just get to the root cause of the problem. Because again, sometimes we're going to have issues. We're going to fall off the wagon. We're not going to keep up with it. But understanding that this is your life and your lifestyle, and only person that has the ability to change it is you. I'm just a tool. I'm just a vessel to help provide you with some insights. But it's up to you to be there and to show up for yourself to get these things done. So with that being said, last thing, I'm sorry, I apologize. It just came to me. I do have a surprise. I have a couple gifts at the end of the challenge. For those individuals that participate fully, I'm going to do a drawing. And I'm not going to tell y'all what it is, because I'm going to show y'all how this group going to actually go. But I'm going to do a drawing at the end of the challenge for those participants that showed up consistently. I'm going to do a drawing, and I'm going to have something very, very special for you guys. And I just want to throw that out there for you guys that are there. Participate, and I'm going to make sure that I reward you guys for showing up and doing so, because again, that's where that motivation actually comes from. When you kind of dangle that carrot in front of the horse starts to work a little harder and start to get motivated to get where they're going. I'm going to make sure I incentivize you guys for your own health. It's not even for me. It's for your own health. I'm going to incentivize you guys throughout these challenges. That way you guys can show up and be the best version of yourselves and actually reap the benefits of these different types of challenges. So I will see you guys live tomorrow, 7:30 again. We're going to be talking about some more stuff inside of the actual ebook. And that way we can continue to learn and grow together, because it's a process. And we want to be able to go step by step and learn more and understand more. And I'm going to drag you guys all the way to the finish line. But the main thing I need you to do, document your journey and understand your process, because each and every one of you guys are on a different journey. Why you bothering my door? Get out my door. My cat over there trying to get out the door. But each and every one of you guys are on a different journey, and your journey is going to look very different from each other. It might be similar in some ways, but it's going to be different. But when you document your journey, it helps you know where you're at, and you get to see where you're going. And as you continue week after week and continue through these different challenges, you'll be able to look back at yourself and find that motivation and be like, yeah, man, I'm seeing what I'm doing and I'm understanding it. And that understanding is going to allow you to lock in and be able to be in a place where you've changed your lifestyle for the better. Because again, you don't want to be that person that yo-yos up and down. I lose 10 pounds, gain 12 back. I lost weight and brought my blood pressure down and it all came right back. You don't want to yo-yo. You want to be consistent and leave it off. I lost 80 plus pounds 3-4 years ago, however long ago it was, and I haven't looked back, never gained it back, haven't came across 190 pounds yet, and I'm stuck hanging out at 175. Tricks, leave my door alone. I'm stuck at 175, and I'm stuck at 175 to 185, and I'm in a happy place. I feel where my body's at, and you want to be where you're comfortable and you're able to stabilize yourself. Get your weight where you need it to be. Get off the blood pressure medication, or if you can't get off of it, wean it down to as far as you can. And that way you're in a better position and you have a better control over your overall health. So with that being said, I'm not going to drown y'all out with the same words. I'll see y'all at 7:30 tomorrow. We're going to break down the 7-day fruit and salad challenge. If you haven't signed up, I'm going to give y'all a few more minutes to do so before I shut it down. The challenge will come back around another 5 or 6 weeks from now. But to that time, you're not going to be able to see any of these other tools unless you've already signed up for it. We're going to have more challenges coming up in the coming weeks. I will talk again about this colon and parasite cleanse and the cleansing cycle at the end of the this challenge. But other than that, we're going to make sure that we're locked in and focused on this one. And yeah, and that's it. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace and blessings. And we'll take care from there.